me? Can you see me? Is it all working? Just give me a big yes in the chat if you can. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sunny Lenarduzzi. I'm the founder of the Authority Accelerator, where we help experts scale their expertise through online programs for more income, impact, and authority. Hi to Presence Alchemy with Alina, Career Safety Net, Jeff Bellamy. Hello, Jeff, a fellow AA member. Nabil, Rooted Tales, Raymond E, Aina Spirit Walker. Hello, Phil, Jaden, Nancy. So happy to have you all here. Thank you for joining. I know we have lots of people that are kind of coming in as I'm speaking right now. If you are excited about this, because I know I am so excited. I know I say that every single time, but I just love doing these. I love sharing these stories. They're so inspiring. And more than that, they're super, super tactical. So I just want to give you a little sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about today. So today we're going to dig into some incredible tactics from this dynamic duo's story, which are how AI fast-tracked getting their program launched, the no social media strategy they generated $225,000 within 55 days, and the premium pricing strategy that led to transformation in every transaction. So cannot wait. Thank you for loving how fast I talk, because sometimes people hate it. I appreciate that. I will try and slow down. I am just very, very excited. So please give this a like. Please do share it with anyone you think this would benefit. And if there is any AA members here, just put AA in the chat, because I know there's lots of people showing up to support these incredible AA members. The Authority Accelerator is what I'm referring to. So I just want to give a quick intro of this incredible duo that we're going to bring on in just a second. So first and foremost, who here thinks in order to have a successful online program, you have to have a massive audience? Just give me a hand in the chat so I know you're sort of virtually raising your hand, because oftentimes that is a massive, massive, massive misconception. People think hi, look at all of our AA members here. Look at you. Hello. Jaden and Alina and Chris Davis. Hi, Chris, and Aina and Cypress Leadership and Goodness Guide and Bosset Doyen and Rabia and Nancy. I love it. Aw. Okay, so I love the folks that are in the Authority Accelerator saying, no, you don't need an audience because you taught us better. So thank you for listening. But to those of you who might still think you need a big audience to have a successful online program, it couldn't be further from the truth. And this is absolute proof of that. Do you need a big audience? Do you need a fancy funnel? Do you need endless content? None of it came into play in this story. So today you're going to meet Dr. Anna Cassis and her daughter, Victoria. They didn't have a following. They didn't run paid ads. They didn't even want to be on social media. But what they did have is deep expertise, a clear mission, and a system that works without burnout or overwhelm. And the result was, like I said, a $225,000 launch of their brain health program with zero online presence, outside 15 YouTube subscribers, I think. And they did all of this before even building their program. Okay, so without further ado, I would love to bring on the amazing Anna and Victoria. And before I even say official hello, happy Mother's Day, Anna, to you.
Much. Happy Mother's Day to you also.
Thank you. I felt like this was the most fitting case study to do at this time, because you are a mother-daughter duo, which I just think is awesome. Okay, so let's kind of get started with your journey. Like, how did you both get into creating this program in sort of the Coles Notes version?
Yes, well, and it all started with Victoria, really. For this version, the one before this actually was the YouTube for Bosses, which you got when you were like 14. Yeah. I think now you're 21.
Nice. I had the YouTuber dream, but no, we really got into making this program simply because it was so important to us. We felt on a personal level that, you know, our specific program deals a lot with memory loss and neuroscience, and that a lot of people generationally have had so many fears surrounding memory loss. And we absolutely, you know, believe that if you don't like it, it doesn't have to be that way. And honestly, I find ourselves to be very scientific rebels, and previously experiencing Sunny's programs and knowing how she structures everything and knowing how supportive the groups are and knowing how you are literally not alone on this walk, we figured out that it would be the best thing to plant this seed inside of an environment like that, so it could really flourish, really grow, and really be at its max support, because that is exactly what it takes to, when you have a good idea, you want the best for it. And if you plant it in the right environment, such as Sunny's program, which we had previously experienced, so we knew that was the best thing to do for us. Obviously, we have flourished in a way because we knew that planting the seed in that type of environment would promote that, and it would most likely get us there. Out of all the other things we thought about, this was going to be the best outcome, because truly, you have created something that is so supportive, so incredible, so motivating. And that's the number one thing, is just keeping that motivation alive and being in part of Sunny's program. It is so easy to wake up every day motivated.
Oh,
that motivation. So that is really how we got here.
Well, that is a very wonderful thing to hear. Thank you for sharing that. I also would love to just touch on quickly, before we dive into the tactics of, how you didn't have to use any social media or any funnels to generate this incredible multi-six-figure launch.
Yeah.
I want to know more about why an online program, and what experience brought you to creating this program. And if you could just tell us what the program is quickly as well.
Yes. So the program that we developed, we wanted to do it online so that we could reach more people. Yeah. And so we already knew that, because we had done another program through the Authority Accelerator. Victoria and I created something actually for holistic skincare and microneedling, and that was successful right out of the right off the bat. And but the timing wasn't right to continue with that in the SOP. But the beautiful thing about the Authority Accelerator is you have lifetime access, which I tell you, that alone sold me on the program when Victoria approached me about it so many years ago. And so we were very excited. So we took what we knew from that, and we kind of put it on hold in our minds. And then we went and we sought additional training in neuroscience together, did over 200 hours of training in EEG and neuroscience with some of the top neuroscientists around the world. And then we knew when we came back that this would be, like she so eloquently said, the right place to plant this seed, just because it's such a supportive community and such a supportive environment. Yes, you want to tell them a little bit?
Yes, I would love to. So basically, the program in a nutshell is we have 4 proprietary sounds that we've created using sound bowls and different vibrational frequencies that are scientifically proven to heal the brain, repair it, and do all the good things that promote you to have an amazing memory. It's honestly one of these things where being fearful of memory loss as you age is a thing of the past now with this kind of science. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, and it's a very much an applied science. And when we did the 200-hour training with these incredible scientists, they are scientists to a core. They would rather be in the lab, being analytical, getting data. They didn't really have the urgency to share this in such a public way, which is exactly why doing an online program, we knew that we would be reachable. We knew that we would be able to help the most people through an online program. And we also figured out that information is so valuable that it would help so many people relax, feel better about their life, improve their relationships, sleep better. I mean, it is such an incredible thing. And it's also using audio. So it really worked and really was compatible for an online program. It just happened to be that way. So we're very, very grateful to that aspect, that the science just ended up working out. But that is really what it is in a nutshell. It's a promotion to really make life more memorable.
I love that. I mean, so this is a little personal note, but my grandmother and my grandfather both passed from dementia. So your program for me really strikes a chord, and I know how important it is and what a big fear it is to sense memory loss or anything like that as you get older. So I'm so excited about the work that you're doing, and I'm so honored that we were the vehicle to be able to get your genius and your expertise out into the world. So let's talk about the tactics, because that's what everyone really I know is here for. And we have a lot of folks tuning right now. We're close to 150 people here live, which is really great. So I want to talk about first and foremost AI because it's a hot topic, obviously. And we created a tool inside of the Authority Accelerator program called the Authority Blueprint, which essentially hand delivers you like a 17 to 20 page business plan by answering just a few simple questions. So obviously you have experienced the program with that tool and without that tool. So I want to talk about how that fast tracked your success in getting your program launched this time around in just a second. Before I do, if any of this is landing for you and you're like, I know I want to create an online program, I know I want to bring my business online, I'm just going to drop the link where you can actually go to book a free course consultation in the chat. So just click that link and you book a free course consultation with someone on our team. This is not going to be like a sales driven call. It's actually for us to figure out if we can help you and if we're the best fit to help you and if you're at the right place for us. So I'm just going to drop that in the chat. It's the first step. It is the first step that Anna took and Victoria took when they got started. So go ahead and check that out. All right. So how AI fast tracked in your program out into the world. Let's talk about your experience with the before and after.
Yes. So first and foremost, when we did the program the first time for our first program, the Authority Accelerator is exceptional, right? So it brings a lot of clarity to one very important thing, which the tool even brings out more, which is who are you trying to serve? Your 3 factors. Who is your ideal client? Their lowest point, their highest point. So that you're very, very clear about that. So the first time we did it, it did take us a little bit longer, but of course, it's a little bit more pencil and paper type. When we came back in January and we saw this AI tool that you created, which is absolutely genius, it took us minutes to do what before had taken months. But it just gave us everything we needed. We, of course, fed in information to the tool to really bring out what we wanted to better understand. And then the tool just gave us, like you said, 17 pages, which we just found to be incredible. And so using that clarity, that is the foundation for the business. And so I think what your program really gets right is building such a strong foundation. And if you have that, then you know who you serve. And then you can best understand their needs, their wants, where to meet them in their journey, how to reach them, how to communicate with them, how to communicate with other people that know them, so that you can really present yourself as the authority in finding those individuals that need your help. And so I would say absolutely that skyrocketed us. Having gone through phase 1, which is the pop launch in the first iteration of a different program. So this program was different than the other one, right? But still, we felt the difference.
Yeah. And helping people, is my personal life philosophy. I think we're all here to really help each other out. So when we saw you had that tool and making it easier to really find that client that you really, really want to help, it makes helping people so much easier.
Well,
it makes the world easier.
Well, and I think to echo on that, because people are afraid that AI is going to replace, humans and online tools and all of those things. I think what's so interesting is that it still needs an experienced driver. And so really we've leveraged AI to take our methodology that worked for years. You created a successful program using that method, that very sort of grassroots method. We've taken that, and like you said, we've taken a process that could take months, if not years, and turned it into a matter of minutes. So I'm curious for you, because basically what the Authority Blueprint tool does is you input a few really simple answers about who you want to serve and what you want to make a course on, and then you get back this 18-page, business plan. What sort of was when you received it, one, how did you feel when you started reading through it? And 2, what was your biggest light bulb in that business plan that allowed you to kind of leap forward?
Yeah, I mean, when you receive that document, it's like someone has handed you a gift, okay? Because there's so much clarity in what is provided through that tool that it just gives you this extra courage and oomph and power and just this ability to say, this is possible. And I think that that's sometimes what we get so caught up in the how am I going to do this? How am I going to? No, you really have to have this that lays it all out for you and takes away the how so that you can really focus on the transformation that you provide. which we know how to provide the transformation. And the program, the curriculum you have laid out, which is again step by step, and we are step by step type people. So when you have the step by step recipe approach, it's fail proof. It really is. Like you just need to follow Sunny's advice, not deviate.
I know, it's wild, right? All you have to do is do the work. Okay, so I'm gonna just put, if you do want to try the free version, so it's sort of like the very light version of this AI tool that fast track their progress, it's going to give you a lot of clarity, and you can go to authority.io/decoder. So I'm just going to drop that into the chat if you want to give it a try. Okay, so now we have this business plan delivered to us. We know exactly who the ideal client is because of the Authority Blueprint, this AI tool, which is great. So now all you have to do is actually start speaking to them. So this is where people get tripped up and they go, okay, well, great, but I don't have an audience. I don't have any tech experience, really. I don't have a funnel. How am I supposed to actually reach these clients? And I think what's interesting, and just a reframe I want to have before we even dig into this, is how do we think businesses grew before the internet? So conversations are a very helpful sales tool. We always say relationships lead to revenue and conversations lead to cash flow. So let's talk through the no social media strategy that led to $225,000 in 55 days. How did it work?
Yes, and it really was a referral-based system. And so one of the things that we adore is Calendly. Calendly really makes our lives easier. And this is not an advertisement for Calendly, but just to say, when you have a tool like that can help you schedule faster and you can give someone a link, it makes it a lot easier to say, can you refer someone to me if you know someone in the same situation that you think would benefit talking to us. And that's exactly what we did. So the first 10 people, you have something called the money questions that you provide. And I will never forget. And I have this bell here on my desk because literally it was an aha moment. Okay. And I do this.
I need one of those.
Why do I do this? Because the brain, when it hears that sound stimulation, it rewards finding solutions instead of looking for problems. And our brain is it's created to solve problems, right? But we can turn problems into bigger problems and spend a lot of time, turning problems around in our head. But if we train ourselves, and again, not that you have to go out and get a stupid gadget like this, but if you have it in your head and you just go, and if you take the Sunny program, if you do the Authority Accelerator, you will find yourself doing this aha moment a lot. So I will never forget. I'm going down the money questions, and towards the bottom, it says something like, not to forget to ask people that you have just spoken to refer other people that would have the same 3 factors. And again, so you have to, provide some guidance to those individuals and say, do you know people like that? I don't know. That really struck a chord because we don't have social media, and I'm not a social media doctor. Like I just have I've never spent time in that, right? So I had 10 followers on YouTube.
I said 15. I was being generous.
10. And they're probably like people who, exactly, like friends and family. No. So again, no social media following to speak of. And then we really thought about this. Like we need to strategically choose the first 10 people to be people that have those 3 factors, who then we can have a really good conversation with and ask them for the referral. And I think that's something we don't do enough of, is to really ask people like, look, I just had a conversation with you. I would love to have a conversation with other people that have these same 3 factors. And if you could please, but you have to make it easy for them because everyone's busy. So this is where the Calendly link, and Victoria's a master of this, creating the QR code. And then you just give them the QR code, and then the person can easily, access your calendar, get on your schedule, and have a conversation. And so that's really how we've looked at it: building trust, having a conversation, and no sales, like pushing at all. Victoria is a master at that, like brilliant, because she has grown up really studying so much of this that is about not selling. Right? It's having conversations.
Well, truthfully, selling is really listening. Like good integrity-based selling is just listening and identifying, can I help you?
Yeah.
It's so interesting as you are a doctor and, you're both in this realm. And I often will say, as a business owner, and especially with an online program, you need to think of yourself as a doctor and whether or not you have the right prescription for the person coming into your office.
Wow.
And if you don't, obviously you're not going to give them the prescription. It doesn't make sense. But if you do, you're like, please take this. I am giving you a gift. So it becomes this act of generosity as opposed to this act of, I'm pushing something on you that you don't really need.
And Victoria has her master's in public health, and she's a doctoral candidate in health science. So she's got a different perspective in that way. But I would love for her to talk a little bit about it, because I am telling you, sometimes she says things to me that I know God brought us together as mother and daughter for a very special reason, because what we're creating together is a legacy business. Yeah. And it will be go on far beyond us. And what we have done, even it's incredible to me, right?
Yeah.
It's just that, and that's really spoke to us too about the way that you present the legacy aspect in your, but it's not just income. I mean, income, you got to see beyond just making a sale, beyond making income. Yeah. What are you doing with your life?
What's the impact?
Yeah. What's the impact? What are you trying to change?
Yeah. I really believe in the word, doing good. You're never going to be successful in this life doing bad, ever. Yeah. Not going to work. And Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill is one of my favorite books.
Same.
And it's always such a good, I read it once a year just to refresh and motivate yourself. Everyone's success stories in there that predate all of us are so wonderful. And
before Callie, before
I, right? And it's one of those things where it's that principle of you must do good. You must be doing something that is positive, because when you're not doing good, when you are being sneaky, when you're just only focused on the revenue aspect, and of course, when you have a business, focusing on revenue is a very crucial.
It's important.
You want to stay afloat, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
Being genuine, being a good person, being somebody who actually wants to help people, have a solution for all of humankind, okay?
Yeah.
That is where the magic lies. That is where the reward lies. Because again, at the end of the day, finances, lovely, great, but it's not something that fulfills the soul in the way that knowing that you're doing good for somebody else's life does.
Yeah.
So when I think about the marketing of our company and the reason why we chose not to have social media, having a social media doesn't mean you're not doing good. Having a social media doesn't mean anything. I think my mom's very old school and we're very private at the end of the day. I think being a doctor, there's so many rules around and regulations with, just certain laws, and you have to be very, very careful being a doctor online. So I think with that in mind, and then also with knowing that our business is centered around first having a conversation with the person and seeing if they're a candidate to even become a member of what we have created, because it would make us feel awful if we knew somebody was signing up and they would not benefit from it.
And that is, I just want to highlight something you said there. It is a massive shift to go from thinking about somebody as a potential client to a candidate. Are you a candidate for this program versus are you a client for this program? The bell.
We have to ring the bell. We are going to be ringing that bell throughout the whole program, because everything is a gem. I'm the bell from her.
It was your bell moment. But yes, so that is so important. That distinction of not everybody's a client. Not everybody's a client. You actually don't want everybody to be a client, because if you generate a bunch of clients or you get clients in your program that aren't aligned with what you actually teach and don't need it, what happens? You get terrible reviews, you get horrible results, and nobody thinks your program is very good. But that's not because it's not very good. It's just you have the wrong people in the program. So I wanted to just clarify something. So there's a good question that came up in the chat. It said, I'm still not clear on how you got your clients to create a 225K program. As a doctor, are you selling to patients? So I just want to clarify this entire process, Amanda, and tell me if this makes sense. And then Anna and Victoria, you can jump in if you think there's any added context that's needed. So essentially what happens is, yes, Anna is a doctor. And they created a program for essentially like mitigating memory loss as you get older based on neuroscience. To generate her clients, we're going to talk about this in a second, but she chose a premium price for her program, which is what we teach, because the more you pay attention. So then you get really great client results. She used AI, where our tool called the Authority Blueprint inside of the program, to generate a business plan. And from that, they knew exactly who their ideal client was. And from there, they did what we call ICA research. And so that means that you actually just start interviewing people who could potentially be great clients for your program, but you're not interviewing them to sell. You're interviewing them to build a relationship and actually to listen to them so you can create the best possible program for them. So on a tactical level, from there, if you're still wondering how they monetized, which should be fairly clear after this, they do the research, they listen intently, they then know, oh my gosh, this is what we need to include inside of the curriculum in the program. Now we know exactly what the transformation is that they're going to get, how they're going to deliver the program, and they know exactly what the 0 and hero state is that they're going to take their client to and from. So then they actually have something they can sell. They have an outcome that they can sell. And so from there, they go back to those people that they interviewed and they say, hey, I've created something that could be really helpful for you. Not everybody, because not everybody's a fit. And they say, would you like to be a part of our first prototype round of this program where we're going to be teaching it live? And then they sell. Make sense? Curious. So that's how they generated $225,000. In terms of how you found those people, because that is a good question. Let's talk about the strategy, because it's a very specific strategy. There's a strategy for the first 10 interviews, and then there's a strategy for the ones after that.
That's exactly right. So yes, and that's where I was going with the whole Calendly thing, and then the bell got me excited about the aha moments. So in the money questions, you had made that like suggestion. And we took it to heart.
Oh, let me just clarify that for 1 second. So when they say the money questions, so when you go to interview these people and to really listen to them, we give you a set of questions that are strategically chosen. We've been testing them throughout the years, and they're questions to get to the root of what does your ideal client actually want? What do they need from you? And this is where you really listen to them. So that's what the money questions are. And in those money questions, we give you a guide of how to actually execute the interview and what specifically to ask. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. And so those first 10 people were people that we knew, liked, and trust, and who also knew, like, and trust us. And Victoria has been working in my practice with patients, oh goodness, since
too long.
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 years, right? By phone during her training and everything like that. So we strategically chose those first 10, and then each of those 10 we asked to actually refer up to 5 people using the Calendly link. And then that's how I grew. Now, one of those individuals happened to be have a strategic position in an organization where she actually brought in another 12 people who all signed up for the program. So that was like, whoa, like all of a sudden we had 13 people, right? Just from one person. So that's the kind of thing that referral can do, is if one person is sold on what you're doing. And again, we weren't selling on it. We were just communicating. And then all of a sudden we had now 12 more people want to make calls and speak to us.
Yeah. And, I definitely, for people that are wondering kind of like the future of it, or if you like these kinds of ideas or this kind of way of marketing, then you can go beyond into like affiliate marketing, and your referrals then get rewards for the people who have done it. And then they have an incentive maybe to make the money back that they invested into your program. And so that's really the wonderful thing about the, referral model that we enjoy so much, because it allowed us to keep us private. We already knew 10 people. They were generous enough to invite other people in their life because their program fit those people's needs as well. It just happened to be that. And again, this is a very medical program, and it's something that I think a lot of people, there is so much fear around memory loss when you age. People see aging, unfortunately, as such a negative thing, and that's kind of what we wanted to change, that narrative, that it's a positive thing. It's a badge of wisdom that you grow every single year, and you should hold on to your memories. So I think being what our specific niche was, it was so enticing to these types of people that were in that age group. The time we already had, they knew people and friends and family. So of course, it naturally just draw more people in, but it's definitely something where referrals, word of mouth, and affiliate marketing in the future is definitely something we're looking into.
And I think that's the simplicity of when we go back to how AI really helped here is you had so much clarity on who you were trying to seek that it made it very easy to articulate that. Marketing really is clarity. If you don't have clarity in your messaging and marketing, you're never going to get clients. In terms of, I had a question come up from Love and Money Secrets, asking about the money question. So you are an AA member, they're in there. And I just want to remind you, for the AA members here, thinking you're going to get some sort of value bomb out of this that you've never seen before, all you got to do is follow the program. Like, that's literally what Anne and Victoria are saying. Like, went through it with a fine tooth comb, did everything in order, and boom goes the dynamite. They actually got results. I know it's an awful idea that if you do the work, you actually get results, but like, that's how it works. So just wanted to mention that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is you've gone through the process now, you've spoken to these people, you've been able to go back and go, wow, there were some people that we spoke to that were incredible. And I think would be a great fit for us to run this prototype version of the program with. Now it comes down to, okay, the big question, the big, huge question is, well, what are we going to price this thing at? So you followed our premium pricing strategy. We call it value-based pricing. And you said something so fascinating. You said it led to getting a transformation in every transaction, which I think is such a beautiful way to put it. So let's talk about how you landed on the right price point.
Yes, well, we have Connor in your sales team to thank for that, because one of the things that the Authority Accelerator offers is a lot of support. A lot of, you're not alone in this. And so you know, we have these sales calls that we can listen to if we can't do them live. And that's exactly where we ended up, is listening to the recordings, kind of binge listening to recordings, right? And Connor said something so simple, but it was just like, look, you know, it's you're selling your transformation. You're not selling who you are, what you're worth, you know, all these things that we get caught up in when we're trying to price something. And the AI tool, I think, said something like, you know, your program, 3,000, 3,500. And then we thought 5,500. And then we heard
Actually,
Connor, and then
and
then I was like 7,500, and we were holding our breath. I have to be honest with you, we didn't know.
But it was definitely something to swallow. But you know, at the end of the day, when you are creating something and you are putting your all into it, and you know that it's going to do good, and you know that it is built in a foundation that is honest and that is doing good for others, there's no need to feel guilty for wanting to charge the price you want to charge. And the reason why it's so incredible to charge certain price points like that, your clients become so serious when they enter your practice, your business, whatever it is that you create, and they get accepted into that, and you want them to be your client. They have appreciation for your time. They have appreciation for the value that you're providing them. They want to ask questions. They want to know whatever they can get their hands on. They want to know it. They value what you've created. And that's what something Sunny said was so lovely, is that you are not for everybody in this life. You want to surround yourself with people in your life and clients in your business that truly have value and appreciation for you, because you have put so much time in that nobody paid you to do. Nobody paid you to do the Sunny program. You paid Sunny to have access to this amazing stuff. You're putting your blood, sweat, and tears in it. Have value for that, and know that having value for that translates into clients having value for your time in doing that.
Absolutely. And so how many clients did you have in your initial launch of your program?
We had
30 people in the initial launch of their program. This happened in a 55-day period of doing the research and then getting folks enrolled. And so Larry and Parisa, great question, wrong question. So they asked, what period of time? What's the duration of the program? So based on the price.
Right.
So
we wanted to offer a fast transformation. So the program is set for 4 weeks, and there is possibility to even have transformation within a few days, believe it or not, from the testimonials we have received. So delivering a faster result, in our opinion, also justifies that the price point be higher, because the transformation is faster.
And I did want to add to that too. The reality is, any transformation of any program that you create, yes, it can happen in 4 weeks, but a lot of our clients, it's going to take a lot of time. Like for people to build an online program, it could take a wide range of time. Some people do it in a couple months, some people do it in a year, some people do it in a couple years. It really is up to you. So it's the wrong question in the sense that the price point, so $7,500 for what period of time, is the wrong question. $7,500 is based on the outcome that people are getting. The outcome that you're giving people is to not have memory loss as they age, which allows them to maintain their memory, maintain their relationships, and hold on to the things that mean the most to them in the world. That is pretty invaluable. So the way that we look at pricing is, what is the value of the outcome? Not the amount of time they're putting in, not how fast they get the result necessarily. It's what is the value of the outcome to your ideal client who is in that pain. That's how you price a program. So our tool actually gives you a suggested lowest possible price to start with, and then you can work your way up from there. But that's how you both landed on the $7,500 price point. And you got, this is the wild thing. So $7,500, I'm sure some of you are going, oh, that's really expensive. Here's the interesting thing. Every single person of the 30 people who enrolled in this program paid in full.
Yes, they did. Yes,
They were excited.
Yes, they were excited.
They were excited.
There's transformation in the transaction. And, you know, again, these are people who we chose that really were willing to invest in themselves, that and it's not just, it's just finding the means of making that a priority so that you do that. Yes, absolutely. And
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Victoria.
No, I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, but that's exactly the point too, is that when you're creating a program like this, and you know, especially ours specifically, and we researched, I mean, we spent time with scientists for 200 hours. Okay. That is no joke. It was, you know, in all honesty, love science. It's so fun. It's great, but it's as painful as it sounds. Because there's so much nitty gritty, you know, and we extracted the really, really intriguing parts that we thought would really aid people. But when you have confidence in your product, that radiates, and other people have confidence that you are also going to transform them because you believe in it. It maybe fake it till you make it. I have no idea, whatever works for you, but being confident that and that's why I believe in the doing good phrase, because if you're doing good, you have nothing to not be confident about. You're doing
Absolutely. And it's based on, again, someone just asked, how would people know the program works? The reality is, they know the outcome that they're looking for, and you're telling them that you're providing that outcome through your program. That's based on all of the research that you've done and your years of expertise. That's why you cannot have an online program if you don't know anything about anything. So you have to have an expertise. That is the non-negotiable. You have to have experience and an expertise to have a baseline for the beginning part of this. So one question that just came up is kind of just tagging on to how do you find the first 10 people? So again, I just want to reiterate, this came from their warm network. And I just want to sort of plant the seed from our program here. This might feel like it's breaking your brain. Like, where am I going to find people? You know, people. So that's where you start. So you start with your warm people first. And it's just to build your confidence in doing these interviews to begin with, and also to really get the hang of the flow of them. And also to ask them, hey, do you know anybody else who's struggling with this? And that's how you start to build out an audience who doesn't know you and get more people, which is exactly what you guys did. But just to kind of break it down tactically, think about if you have a skill set or expertise, I can guarantee you there are people around you in your life, in your network, peers, et cetera, who have said, hey, can I pick your brain about this? Yes. I've always wanted to learn this about what you teach. Could we go for a coffee? Yeah. Those are your people. Those are your first 10 people. So for you guys on a tactical level, who were the first 10 people?
Yes, these were people that we knew, liked, and trusted, and that we knew had the 3 factors. So I think those are the people that you're really looking for.
And did some of them come from your practice?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we said we will not go beyond that. Like that, just only from those 10 can they be from the practice, because those are the people that we truly knew the best. And then we wanted to build the network, not rely on my practice, because that has a finite number of people that, you know, we could protect. To be honest, we haven't even opened it up to my practice yet, which is crazy. But now with the SOP, which we just finalized, which is the final version, we just recorded all of the modules before we left on vacation last week to celebrate Victoria's 21st birthday. We finalized. So now we'll be doing that as well in the next phase.
And that's another thing too, is when you're doing it in this kind of way, of course, like we're not telling anybody like, okay, after you do it, like give us the raging best testimonial you possibly can. Of course, I would love to say that. But because it is truly a genuine thing from their side, every time I see a testimonial, I am so proud. It makes I want to read it out loud for the whole world. And so with that being said, picking those first 10 people was so crucial to us, because it's not that we even had like, okay, they're definitely going to give us a raging testimonial and get more people. We knew that their experience was really important to us, and we had confidence that their experience was going to be good because it's science-backed. So we knew something was going to happen good for them.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're going to have a positive experience inevitably because we handpicked these people, we knew they most likely would have. That's why it's curated. Then their testimonials that they tell their friends are so potent. The testimonials that they just tell us are so potent. So that's what really expands everything, is these positive experiences, because we handpicked these people. Just like Sunny said, they were candidates for this program.
Yes, totally. And we're getting so many nitty-gritty questions in the comments, which is so funny to see and so fun to watch. And one person just asked, what were your 3 factors? You don't need to go into detail. I actually created a whole video on their story, and it includes those nitty-gritty details. So I'm going to drop it in the comments so you can watch it and see kind of like the behind the scenes of this whole thing. But I think what's really important to understand here is when you have clear messaging, a clear ideal client, and the right price point, it becomes a match made in heaven, and which is why people are willing to pay in full. So one of the questions that just came in too, which I think would be really helpful to talk through, is so Parisa, just to remind you, there was no YouTube. There was no social media. It was all referral based, just from these conversations. And if you're like breaking your brain again over this, please just talk to a real human being on our team. So you go to sunnyleonarduzzi.com/apply, and they're going to walk you through exactly how this whole strategy works. So one of the questions that came in is, can you describe what it was like to teach the course live for the first time? So when I say that they generated the $225,000 before they built the program, it's because we always want to launch with a prototype version of your program. We know the 0 state, we know the hero state of your ideal client, we know the transformation we want to provide them. And you basically build it live each week as you deliver it, so that you're not building this whole program and then going, oh gosh, that didn't work. That wasn't digestible. This piece was in the wrong place, and now I have to redo the whole thing. So I'm so curious, how was the experience of teaching it live?
It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Exciting and exhilarating is how I would describe it.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so fun. It was, I think knowing that you have such an idea and a seed that you've been carrying for a really long time, and to finally execute it in some capacity, it's exhilarating. You feel like you're going 100 miles per hour in a sports car. Like, it's that fun. But of course, like it's slow pace, it's digestible for us, and it's digestible for the clients that are joining in. So it was a really positive experience. It was not chaotic.
I'm so curious. Oh, so
you know, the 4
weeks flew by. Yes. I'm
great.
curious for you, did you have any aha bell moments during the process of teaching it live where you went, thank goodness we're teaching
This bell did not stop ringing. This bell did not stop ringing. There are so many. I tried to capture as many and put them, you know, because again, that's the beautiful thing about the online community. And I kind of used it as our journal, our diary.
Yeah.
To capture a lot of those things, because even going back, sometimes when I read back through them, I'm like, wow, like we did this, like we went through all this. But yes, that bell did not stop ringing, because sometimes the things you think are going to work, they don't. And sometimes things you don't think are going to work, do.
Yeah.
You start having those conversations and interactions with the human beings that have trusted you, that then you can start, you know.
Yeah, you don't learn how to swim if you've never gone in a pool before.
Exactly.
A little immersed in the water.
The best way to learn to teach is to teach. I think I say that all the time. Like, that's why there is such a value in doing this live first and foremost. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make is trying to create a course first and then going to sell it, because pretty much every single time it's not going to be in the right order. There's going to be things that don't work. And what happens when you have, you know, pieces in your program that are not in the right place, or they slow down results, is people go, this is terrible, I don't want it. And again, that leads to bad results. And then people think the program is bad. But all that comes down to is there just isn't an efficient path for your ideal client, which is why we harp so much on this in the beginning stages, and why when you get that blueprint, the authority blueprint, it actually provides you an outline for the curriculum that is the most efficient. And then you can tweak it based on speaking to real people and doing the research. One of the questions that came in is, how do you plan to scale your business with just word of mouth? Well, so this is really the beautiful thing. So first of all, they've now proven the program. That's step one. You have to actually prove you have an offer that people want to buy. That is the most important piece of this. Once you've done that, then we're set up to scale. So they've just created their pre-recorded version of the program that is optimized based on what they did with their pop. And now that can sell to the moon. And now you can create a scalable system to sell it, which comes into creating evergreen content with something like a YouTube channel. So that will be coming soon. But also you very much could continue to grow the business just through word of mouth, because you're getting great results for your clients who are telling other people. Those people want to be a part of it, and that creates a little flywheel. So I'm curious for both of you. First of all, what is your goal for the program? Like, how many clients do you need a month to be happy?
Oh, we don't have I think the people will find us that need to find us. I don't think that we really, in that sense, even set out initially, because I can tell you with our first program, we had 20, yes. And we charged $1,500 and we were over the moon about making $30,000. I mean, we were over the moon.
But really, I mean, I think our whole goal is this is going to surpass us. We definitely have, we invested a lot of time in learning about this. Science keeps getting bigger and bigger. We gave lifetime access to our clients who are accepted into this program. So we will always be updating it. And of course, furthering our education. And as even look at the AI, it's constantly changing. And so it's not exactly saying okay, we have a quota, we have a number. Of course, we want people to come into our business, pretty, steadily and really help people. But at the end of the day, we know that it can help people. Pre-recording it allows it to be in more hands, allows people to really, really get to experience it globally even, which is another reason why we decided to do online. It's so accessible. But, it's really just about, again, it's really rooted in doing good. It's not focusing on numbers. Of course it's important in business. We all know numbers are important.
And Sunny loves numbers. And one of the KPIs one of the key performing indicators that we created for ourselves is how many referrals.
I love that. It's a great KPI. Yeah. And that really proves, I think that's the thing. I think people overcomplicate business. And at the end of the day, when you're creating something of high value with a really high value outcome and you price it appropriately, you get 2 clients a month. That's $15,000 a month with 2 clients a month, which means you don't have to market as much and you can really serve at a deep level the people who do come in. That is the beauty of creating a business like this. We create businesses that are peaceful, purposeful, and profitable. That is the end goal. And a big piece of that is the value of your outcome, so you can price accordingly, so you don't have to constantly be marketing and constantly be on social media. And I'm proof of that too. I'm not on social media. I quit about a year ago. And the business has grown. So one question, there's a couple wrap-up questions I want to ask before we kind of dive into the end of this. And like I said, I made a whole video diving into the nitty-gritty details behind how this actually happened. Natalia said, I'd love to hear more about the program versus the success story. The point of this is their success story. So there is a whole video detailing their approach. And if you want to hear more about the program, is that the Authority Accelerator program or their program? Just curious. If it's their program, if you watch the replay of this, you're going to hear all about what their program actually is. And also, if you want to hear more about the Authority Accelerator program, if you go to that link, sunnyleonarduzzi.com/apply, you will learn a lot more about exactly what we do. And every single nitty-gritty question that's being asked here, like I said, it's in the program. Literally, it's just a step-by-step, click here, do this, do the work. I know that's shocking, but it's not shocking. That's why we've been around for 6 years and we have so many success stories. One question that came up is, your initial group of 10, did you just call and invite them to be a candidate in your Zoom and ask who they know who might benefit from this? That is exactly it. They got them onto an interview on Zoom. They asked the money questions. And then in the process, they asked, hey, do you know anybody else who's struggling with this? And that's how they got referrals for more of these ICA, ideal client interviews, to listen to people. And then once they had the idea of exactly what the program was going to sort of look like, they then went back to them and say, hey, we're creating our prototype. You'd be perfect for it. Is this something you want? And because these people were in pain, they built trust with them, built relationships with them. They listened to them and were hand delivering what they needed. every single person of 30 people paid in full.
And call.
No one missed a
No
call.
one missed one of our calls. Only one person had a rescheduled call for like a couple of days later because they had something come up, but we had 0 no-shows. Like everybody valued our time. Everybody wanted to talk to us, which we found just incredible. I mean, just absolutely incredible.
I love it. I love it. So I'm so happy for you guys. One question that came up is, the purpose of today's call. And yes, there's an invitation to apply. You're applying for a program called the Authority Accelerator. If you don't know what that program is, we help people create online programs that are scalable around their expertise, which is what Anna and Victoria have done. You can learn a lot more about that on my YouTube channel. I think I have over 500 videos and 10 years behind me of doing that. So you can learn a lot more over there. So right now they're in the process, because they just ran their pop and they proved it. They're now in the process of continuing to sell the program in their scalable offer, which is the pre-recorded version of it. So again, all of this is covered in such thorough detail on my YouTube channel. You can check out any of the videos there. You're probably going to learn it 10 times over. And I love the detailed questions, and you're going to find out more of the nitty-gritty of how they did this in that video that I mentioned earlier, which I will drop here again for you, detailing their story. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and going into such detail. I'm curious for you. And I think what's interesting is this, what I will say is this, because I think this is the first time we've had this many sort of like nitty gritty little detailed questions in the chat, which I love because you're actually paying attention. So yay for you. And yay for being here, because there's a billion other things you could be doing. What I will say is this: when your why is strong enough, the how becomes arbitrary. Meaning, when you know the mission you're on, the impact you want to have, and like Victoria said, how you want to help people, because that's simply what it comes down to, how you do it doesn't really matter. Like, you'll figure it out. And also inside of our program, we have the step-by-step process. And I just want to also clarify something here. We don't work with everybody. You have to apply, and we have to make sure you're actually a fit so we can actually support and help you. And we want to help the people that are going to do the work and follow the process, just like Anna and Victoria did. So my question for you before we leave this is, when you think of life pre-launching this program and post-launching this program, how has it changed things for both of you?
Oh my goodness, liberating. It's a legacy business. I mean, it's something that we've created together, which is it's invaluable. I mean, it goes beyond any monetary gain. It's something that you're building together, whether you go into business, with your best friend, with your spouse, alone, or with your daughter. I mean, it just is something that you're creating. That's what I find the most joy in. I mean, of course, money is necessary, but what we have built, what we have together, oh my gosh.
It sparks major confidence. I think about that time in my life. I had, in all honesty, I had gotten my master's in November, and then in January I was in my doctorate program, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm in it, but I don't think this is, I have a bigger purpose for myself. Like,
It makes it real.
So grateful to have gotten into the doctorate program, and so grateful to have that opportunity first and foremost. But I was like feeling so pulled to do something else. I was like, I want to just hit the ground running. And so I was so insecure about that. I was like, okay, I hope I made the right decision. I had to tell all my professors and, the whole thing. And then being here today, it's like, I'm so glad I did that.
Yay!
So trust your gut. You know so much about yourself, and your program in general, I think I knew gave such a structure for confidence and literally just motivation every single day with the group support. And of course, like, I'm so grateful that my mother is alongside me. It would feel so differently. I'm so grateful, because she has so many more years of experience than I do. So like, learning as I go as well. But it's been incredible, and I'm so glad I did it, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that you did this together. I mean, I just think about my daughter's she's almost 2, which is crazy, but I'm just like, oh, I could do this one day. That'd be so cool. So yeah, it's really beautiful to see the bond you have, and 2, that you're able to join forces for this. I just think it's incredible. For those people that are here right now asking a bajillion questions, which I love, and they're thinking to themselves, because questions really are coming from a place of uncertainty within yourself. It's actually not a question about the program. It's really coming from a place of uncertainty within yourself. What would you say to them, for somebody who's kind of sitting on the sidelines and is like, maybe been to a bunch of these and has seen all these case studies and is still going, I don't know. It just feels scary. What's your advice?
I would say trust is not logical. It's felt in the heart, and you have to go with what you feel. And if you feel aligned with what your program offers, which is exactly how we felt when we saw all of your videos online, we could see your authenticity. We could see your generosity just with the level of information that you share freely. And then we knew we wanted to work with you. So I think that's where you make that leap, where you go and you have built trust by watching your videos, and then you say, this is something I want to be a part of and have lifetime access, people.
No, you don't.
Ridiculous.
That's insane. But that's the thing, is it's like when you're doing this, it's like feels like a really scary moment in your life, because sometimes you might be leaving a job you don't want to be at. Sometimes you might be, starting over and creating a new life for yourself, and absolutely, going against the grain, maybe in your town, maybe your family's not supportive. Sunny is so supportive. You are safe here. No, I'm serious. If you are a scared person who is like, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to do this for myself, this is the best place to literally do that. This is the safest place to do that. This is the place where you will be encouraged, you will be motivated. The only thing you need to do is just believe in yourself and trust yourself. But if you're going to do it with Sunny. It's the safest part of the risk, is being able to, okay, at least I'm going to be motivated. At least people, are going to be encouraging. At least I'm going to be able to share wins. At least I'm going to be able to have, and literally what Sunny said, there's no crystal ball. There's no magic. I don't have magic potions in my pocket. Sunny literally has, if you find comb, pick it, you will get exactly where we are. Exactly. It was nothing else other than what Sunny recommended, and that was purely it. So this is the best place to do it. This is the best.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for saying all that. I swear I'm not paying them to say it. I swear to you. People think we pay for these. I'm not paying it. You guys anything for these. But it's just, I think at the end of the day, like, our program's been around for 6 years, which is no easy feat, especially in the online world. And it just simply would not be around still if it didn't work. Yeah. So you guys are proof of that. I'm so freaking happy for you. I also just wanted to touch on one final thing, because I think this is one of the most important things people come to us for. So you obviously have a medical practice, and you know what it's like to hit that sort of time ceiling. So I'm curious what this has done for you in terms of being able to own your schedule, own your time.
Yes, no, that has been a game changer.
So
and
awesome.
Just knowing that it's one-to-many instead of one-to-one. And for years I've been doing one-to-one, which I do love, but that's a different feeling from one-to-many, where you can reach so many people. And then even if we needed to remove ourselves from it, it still goes on without us, in the sense that we have built the curriculum, we have built the transformation. So, either one of us or neither one of us can carry it on.
But again, life was really, we were all created here to really enjoy life. And that's why you do this. It's to help others, and it's to give yourself the freedom to go see the world, to go see the people you love, to spend more time with your friends and family, to maybe start your own family, maybe to spend more time with your kids, maybe spend more time with your partner, whatever the case may be. Doing something like this where it generates income that's passive, it's purely meant for you to fully enjoy and immerse yourself in life and all that it has to offer and all the good that it has inside of it. That is why.
Peaceful, purposeful, profitable. People become entrepreneurs and they forget they got into it for freedom. So build a business that allows you to own your time. We had one last question come in. Do we help you focus on your expertise? If you have knowledge and experience but can't focus the expertise, yes, we do. And that's what that AI tool will help you do as well. I don't want to go over anymore. You've given so much of your time. Thank you so, so much. If you have further questions or anything around this and are curious about what we do and how we help people, sunnyleonarduzzi.com/apply. You can apply for a free course consultation and get more info and actually speak to a real human being who knows our program inside and out. So thank you to everyone who's been here this entire time. We appreciate your time. And again, I know there are a bajillion other things that you could be doing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for Anne and Victoria. To all of our fellow AA members, so happy you're here. Go do the work and you might be next. Who's going to be your next case study? Maybe someone here. Thank you both of you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And I will talk to you very soon. Thank you all. Bye.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.